Time is running out for one of our locomotives, and the work has begun to give line its roar once again. Welcome to In the Loop. Hello folks and welcome to today's episode of In the Loop. Now before we crack on and see what's been happening with this beastie, it's time for a quick fire look around the railway to see what's been happening since the last episode. Now you may remember at the start of the year we had a visit from a tamper, which essentially works on track geometry, pinched from the main line to do some contract work for us. Well, behind me we have another trackside geometry machine, which is something a little bit more different and crucially more specialised. Behind me is a stone blower. So essentially it's a little bit different from a tamper. A tamper does track geometry by clamping the rails, lifting it up, and there's some tendrils that go down, crunch together, and that way you can adjust for track geometry. This one does it a little bit differently. It will lift up the track and it has a hopper with fine granite stones. Pipes will then go down and below the stones into the appropriate spaces, so if you have any voids underneath sleepers or anything, they will fill in. The track will then be placed back down, and essentially the effect is you can go straight back to normal running as soon as work is completed. You don't need to allow the track to bed down, putting temporary speed restrictions on or anything like that. Now these machines are very specialised. There are only 14 of these in the country. 11 of these are plain line. This, however, is one of 3 multifunctional ones, which can do points. So, what you're looking at is one of 3 multifunctional stone blowers, and there's only 3 of these in the world. And one's here. Now, you may be wondering why it's down here. Well, the answer is crew training. The guys at Balfour Beatty are essentially using our line to train their crews how to use these specialised bits of equipment. And it's simple as that. They'll find a bit of line where we've asked them to do a bit of work, and they will do the work for us. So they get their crews trained up, ready to go onto mainline where there's a lot more time restrictions, and we get some lovely pieces of track back out of it. So yeah, everyone wins. And on the inside, it is fantastic. Space age, I have no idea what I'm looking at, but my God, it looks impressive. Lovely bits of kit. Looking at the BY, they're continuing their fit out of the inside, so the mouldings and checker plate we saw last time have gone in, and they're currently fitting out the interior electrics. Of course, this needs to be ready for steam illuminations shortly, as it becomes one of our generator cars. But I've got no doubt they're going to make it. Now regarding our famous little blue engine, well, its 10-year overhaul has begun. As you can see, the boiler is now out the frames, it has been drained down, washed out. The next stage will be to take the boiler tubes out and give it a thorough examination before sending it in the boiler shop, where the real work can begin. Now looking at our standard 475079 on the bottom end, the wheels have now returned, they've got brand new tyres on. They've been doing some skimming work on the journals where the actual axle boxes sit, and also on the crank pins. Currently they've just got a nice little protective layer just to keep it protected. Regarding the frames themselves, well, the horn guides have gone in, and the drag box has been reamed and tapped and is ready to be assembled into the frames, and once it's in, it will be staying there. Next weekend we'll see our autumn steam gala, a fantastic home fleet celebration, and it'll be one of the last opportunities you guys will have to ride behind this beastie. 3095 Cheltenham, one of the last schools in existence, and well, one of the only 2 still running, but not for long, so definitely worth a visit. Tickets are still on sale, and hopefully we'll see you there. One little bonus treat, if you are coming to our autumn gala, then make sure you do come to the shop, where you'll see for the first time ever, these are beautiful DVDs as part of the Things You Now Know collection. Some of our favourite episodes and some exclusive bonus material never seen before. From cab runs on our Ivet tank to in-depth stories and unseen bits of the interview with our driver Bob Cartwright. This is very much testing the water, and if you guys do like these, could be an ideal Christmas present, then there's going to be more. And unfortunately that might mean a few more exclusive DVD bonus extras. So, well worth a visit. One noticeable absence from the railway lately has been this beastie, 50027 Lion, our Class 50 locomotive. It's currently being out of service due to an earth fault with the generator. So we thought we'd take the opportunity while the work's just kicking off to have a look inside and show you guys what we mean and crucially how you can sport it. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Wilson. I'm one of the volunteers looking after line here at the Watercress line. Line is one of 18 preserved Class 50s, built in June of 1968, and initially spent its life on the West Coast main line until the full electrification of that in the early 70s. Moving on from there, it was transferred to the Western region, first of all at Bristol Bath Road, before being the first Class 50 to venture to Penzance for crew training and the like down there. It ended its days, like most Class 50s, on the West of England main line between Waterloo and Exeter in 1991, and made its way to the Mid-Hants Railway initially in 1992, before leaving again a few years later for the North Yorkshire Moors Railway. Line finally returned in 2012 and has been here ever since. As was alluded to, Line's not very well at the minute, and to show you a bit more, we'll have a look inside the engine room. So we're now currently next to all the electrical cubicles on the larger side of the locomotive. The locomotive's kind of split in two as you go down. So there's more electrical cubicles the other side in what's known as the Finman side for obvious reasons. Since 2012 when Line returned, it had been quite a solid performer at the Watercress line, filling in for steam substitutions, its own running days, and like we've had this previous summer, steam bans during hot weather. And this was all well bar a small radiator leak that took it out of service in 2018 for a year, returning at the end of 2019 to be the first locomotive over the new Butts Bridge at Alton. This all went well up until New Year's Eve last year, where during a line proving run before the steam illuminations, a fault light above the doors in the cab lit up with earth fault. This is basically the engine telling us that the electricity is going where it shouldn't. Now, trying to find an earth fault in a locomotive like this that was advanced for its time in 1968, full of the latest electronics, is quite a task and actually took us 6 months to locate. With the electrical cubicles here, we could do such things as trying different control cards, taking out the speedo calibrations, and even isolating traction motors to try and find the fault, but sadly no luck so far. One nice little fact about the electrical cubicle doors that I quite like is that the little plaques on them have a small screw in each of the little boxes that tells you exactly where the doors need to go when you refit them, which was quite handy when a few years ago we took them all off and painted them. Otherwise it's going to be a very difficult jigsaw puzzle in putting them back together. Now, if we move on, we'll have a look at the generator and the engine itself. So we're now in the engine room next to the English Electric 16 CS VT engine, intercooled and turbocharged with 4 turbochargers. It's a derivative of the engine LMS 10,000 and 10,001 were fitted with. That went on to be developed for use in Class 40s, and this is therefore a development on the one that was fitted to Class 40s with the addition of an intercooler. It chucks out 2,700 horsepower raw, which is a little bit less when it gets to rail, and despite being one of the more modern British rail locomotives, unlike the Class 20s we have here at the Watercress line, you have to prime your oil yourself, which is a very long and arduous task before you start it up. Speaking of starting up, this engine is fitted with a preheater which warms the block up before you hit the go button. This reduces wear and tear on the locomotive and allows the power unit to last longer. It's a preservation edition, as I said, and this is an idea that we got from the Berry Preservation Group at the East Lancashire Railway with their Class 50 Valiant. Going back to the earth fault that we discovered on New Year's Eve, we've sadly traced it back to the main generator, which is this part of the power unit. Now, in preservation circles, having an earth fault in your main generator is probably the worst outcome you can imagine. We don't exactly know what the fault is yet. All we know is it's within the main generator, which could be anything from a deep clean to a full rewire, costing from upwards of 10 grand to around 80, 90 or even more. Which indeed is not an easy job, and there's very few places that can do it. To fix the fault with the main generator, we first need to get it looked by a specialist in the Midlands, which means removing it from the engine itself. Now, first of all, you have to unbolt it from the auxiliary generator, and then you have to lift it out from the locomotive. To lift it out from the locomotive, it's bolted to the engine that we saw earlier, which means you have to lift the whole thing out as one power unit out the top of the locomotive, which means also removing all the roof brackets and hatches to get it out in one piece. Once it's out, we can split it, send the main generator away, store the power unit, and do some jobs that we wouldn't usually be able to do in the engine room, like a full repaint and a clean of the sump. We have no idea how much the main generator repair is going to cost. It could be a deep clean, it could be a full rewire, and that's a few tens of thousands of pounds to several tens of thousands of pounds, upwards of 50, 60 grand. We won't know until it's been assessed. Now, lifting a Class 50 power unit out is no easy job, especially for a small group of volunteers on a privately owned locomotive, like many other locomotives that has lived outside for the past 30 years. If you'd like to keep updated, there's a Facebook page if you search for 50027 Lion. Not only do we have a merchandise Facebook page, but we also now have a merchandise stall that we're starting to bring to Watercress Lion events. We're hopefully aiming to be at the Steam Gala, so if you'd like to buy any merchandise, we hope to see you there. Or if you'd just like to talk about the locomotive.
Well, there you are, guys, a big engine and a lot of work to be done. Now, the guys here are looking to help fundraise to pay for this effort, and they have a fantastic shop, and there's also a Just Giving page. Just type in 50027 on there, and we'll put some links in the description below. Apart from that, that's it from us this week. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Wilson for showing us around, and we'll see you next time.